Welcome all. We are going to start our 8th lesson, that is our skeletal system and the skin. We have already completed our 7 lessons and right now we are going to start our 8th lesson. Before we proceed, in standard 5th you have already studied about few systems of our body. One was nervous system, another was respiratory system, the third one was digestive system, and you have also studied about the skeletal system. In this particular lesson, we are going to study in more detail about the skeletal system. So, which organs you can see nearby? The figure is given to you. Which organ systems do you see in these pictures? Yes, the first one shows you the digestive system and also the respiratory system. The second one is the nervous system. Along with that, you can see the muscular system present, and the next one is the skeletal system. So, what are their functions? In the previous classes, we have learned about some organ systems, their functions, and their locations in our body. With the help of that, complete the table below. They have given you one table. Name of the organ: heart. Heart, what does the heart do? Yes, heart pumps the blood which allows to flow in all parts of our body. Lungs, what does the lungs do? Yes, it gives us the oxygen which we breathe in. It helps in the transfer of oxygen and carbon dioxide is released outside. Intestine helps us in digestion process, and brains control our own body. Now the various organs are safe within the body cavity. You are knowing that these particular organs which are present, they are present inside our body and they are said to be as internal organs, and they are protected, they are safe because there is a layer around that organs. The human skeleton is a protective shell for all these internal organs. What is the human skeleton doing? Yes, the important function of human skeleton is it is a protective shell. How ozone is protective shell of the earth, same way skeletal system is protective shell of our internal organs. Sometimes when we fall while we have an accident, a bone of our arm or a leg may get broken. Normally when you are playing, whenever you are riding a bicycle, whenever you are driving vehicle, you might fall down or you might meet an accident. That time your bone of your arm or legs gets broken, and this is said to be as a fracture of bone. Most of the students have also suffered from this part. I also had a fracture on my right arm. So, a fracture in the bone causes severe and unbearable pain, and that part with the broken bone swells immediately. Swells means sujne. What happens? A fracture in a bone causes a severe and unbearable pain. Severe and unbearable means you cannot bear that pain. It is that difficult for you to, you cannot control that pain also. And the part which the broken bone also swells immediately, and where you have been fractured, where your bone is fractured, that part also swells, means it, in Marathi we can say to bhag suchto. So when your friend meet an accident and a bone of his legs get fractured, how will you help him? Are you going to tease him? Yes, very good, nice. You are not going to say like this. What you are going to do, you are going to help him out. What you will do, you will just shift him, you will place him somewhere on the vehicle. If you are having car, you can make him sit inside that also you are supposed to pick him up. You can tell your father or anyone who is the elder with you to pick him up and just shift and directly take him to the hospital. So later, if you have observed, when you are reaching to the hospital, with the medical help they are removing an x-ray of the particular bone. What does this x-ray do? Yes, the x-ray image of which is taken of the broken bone or the swollen part helps to tell which part is damaged or which part is broken. It gives you a clear idea what actually have happened to your bone. So x-rays were discovered by Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen. He was the first one who have discovered these x-rays. Okay, so we'll proceed further. You have seen your x-ray image, it is looking same like this if you have ever got a fracture to your bone. Now an x-ray image shows whether a bone is broken and also an exact spot where it is broken. An x-ray image gives you a clear idea where that your bone is actually broken. This helps in providing the proper treatment also. Doctor, when they are watching this image, they can clearly give you proper medicines and give you proper ointments, and they can also tie a particular band or they can cover your wound properly. Now we are going to start with the types of bones. If you have ever observed, if you have ever touched your hand, or if you have ever touched yourself, you can observe that above flesh or below that flesh, you can see there is something hard substance present. That hard substance is nothing but your bones. So some bones are classified into flat bones. Flat bones means they are present, you can understand the clear image of flat bone. There are no different shapes of it, they are literally flat. Small bones like your finger bones, which are really small, if you have folded your fingers properly, you can clearly see that your finger, any of the finger can fold into 3 or 4 parts. It can clearly fold into 3 parts. Okay, your thumb finger can be folded into 2 parts. Irregular bone means that bones are not having any particular shape, and long bones are the shoulder bones or the bones which are present near your thighs. Okay, we are going to start with our human skeletal system, our actual lesson. All the bones in our body are not made up of same shape. Every bone is different. All the bones together form the framework or skeleton. If you have clearly observed that our body is totally made up of skeleton, and these skeletons or these bones are not same, each and every bone is different, and when these bones come together, one framework is formed that is called as skeleton. The skeleton gives the shape to our body. A proper shape is given to your body just because of skeleton. This can be asked as a MCQ type, like the skeleton, the dash gives the shape to the body, then your answer will be the skeleton gives the shape to your body. All the bones of the body along with the cartilage together form the skeletal system. All the bones which are present along with their connections, they are together forming the skeletal system. Bones are hard, they are not flexible. You cannot bend your bones. The bones are only bent where there are joints. So please make that idea clear, that bones cannot be bent, you cannot bend them. They are not flexible also. Bones are composed to be of main two constituents. Bone cells are biotic. Biotic means living, while calcium carbonate, calcium phosphate, minerals, salts are abiotic constituents of bones. Bones are mainly made up of two types. One are biotic components and another are abiotic. Biotic consists of bone cells which are living, and abiotic component consists of calcium carbonate, calcium phosphate, minerals, salts are abiotic constituents. Calcium imparts strength to the bones. You are knowing that whenever you can see the Horlick or the Complan ad, they are showing you that calcium, how much it is necessary to our body. So normally we are preferring the calcium rich food also. So calcium gives strength to your bones. The system which gives a definite shape to the body, which also provides support and protect our delicate organs inside the body, is called as skeletal system. What is the work of skeletal system here? Yes, skeletal system gives you the definite shape, it gives you support, it protects your delicate organ. These are the main functions of skeletal system. We are going to see the next part. Okay, so see this skeleton, how it is been looked. You can clearly watch over here. These are normally present in some of the big schools. Our school don't consist of this. So here the human skeletal system is divided into two main types. You can clearly see in this diagram, the skull part is present where your brain is actually located, ribs where your lungs are located, below ribs you might find that your intestine, stomach, these all parts are been located below the rib cage, little above it and little also, it will be in middle of it. Spine is a spinal cord or the vertebral column because of which we can sit or you can bend easily. Arms means your hand, the arm bones, and these are the leg bones. Okay, the human skeletal system may be divided into two parts. It is divided mainly into two parts: the axial skeletal system and appendicular skeletal system. What is meant by axial skeleton system? Human skeleton system is divided into two types. One is axial skeleton system and another one is appendicular skeleton system. The axial skeleton consists of the skull, the spine and the rib cage. The axial skeleton consists of what? Yes, it consists of skull, it also consists of spine and also consists of rib cage. Skull means you know, yes, you can see over here skull, rib cage is present over here, next one, and the spine. The part which is present above our waist is consisting in axial skeleton. skeletal system. And what is meant by appendicular skeletal system? Yes, it is only made up of the bones which are present, leg bones and arm bones. So the bones, upper limbs and lower limbs, which are said to be arms and leg bones, are coming in the appendicular skeletal system. Now, as our body grows, the size and the length of the bones also increases. We do agree to this sentence, because when you are a baby, that time the bone size is very small. As you grow big, the bone size also increases. Such changes in the size and length can be seen in the child according to the age. However, the body continues to grow only up to a certain limit. The bones of taller people are also longer. You should be knowing that a certain age is defined. After that, your bones are not growing. It is something about 18 to 21 years your bones will grow. Later there is no growth, and whatever height you will receive later, that will be your permanent height. The axial skeleton. We are going to study more detail about the axial skeletal system, which consists of brain, rib cage and the spine. So the first one is the skull. So skull means what? The skull is formed by the bones of the head and face. So skull is formed by which bones? Yes, the bones which are present on head and the bones which are present on your face. This total combination, all the bones are coming under skulls. The bone of the skulls are flat and strong. They are how? They are flat and they are strong. There are altogether 22 bones in the skull. How they are divided? See, 8 are present in head and 14 are present in your face. Except the lower jaw, none of the bones of the skull can move. You are speaking, that time your mouth moves. Yes. So instead, or except the lower jaw, your other bones are not supposed to move, which are present in your skull. So how many bones are present in skull? 22 bones. How they are divided? 8 in your head and 14 in the face. So the next part is rib cage. You might have, sometimes you have seen that when you are touching your chest, you can see the left and right side of your chest. You can feel something is present, like a cage like structure. So this cage like structure in the chest is called as rib cage. It does the work of protecting the heart and it keeps it safe. In the chest there is one vertical flat bone called as sternum. Sternum is, I'll just show you the pic of sternum. You can clearly see over here in between. The one which is present in between is called as sternum. The clear image is shown earlier. I'll just show you where. Yes. This is the sternum which is present over here. The vertical image which is present, that is called as sternum. It is also present over here. So it is totally joined to the sternum. 12 pairs of the flat bones are called ribs, where they are joined to each other. 12 pairs are present which are forming the cage like structure, and therefore these 12 pairs means 12 into 2 is 24, and 24 plus that 1 which is sternum, that is total 25 bones are present in the rib cage, and this is again joined back to the spine. Now the spine, the backbone or the vertebral column, there the spine is formed by the padlock shaped bones. Padlock means they are locked onto each other, they are connected to each other. So there are total 33 bones in the spine, which are also called to be as vertebra. And the spine protects our spinal cord, which is originated from brain. It also gives you the support to sit. It also allows you to do your functions very smoothly. What would happen if you don't have a backbone? If you are not having a backbone, bending, sitting down was not ever possible. You would be like an amoeba. If there were no bones only in our body, we will be like an amoeba. Amoeba is having one single cell and it is like just like a flat structure which do not have any shape. Now the appendicular skeletal system we are going to study. The appendicular skeletal system consists of arm bones and leg bones. The different parts of arm and legs have several bones which are connected together by the joints. Because of these joints, we can move our bone very easily. There are 3 bones in each of our ears. Our ear consists of, our ear consists of 3 bones each. Means in one ear there are 3 bones, in another ear there are 3 bones. Stirrup is the smallest bone in our body. Which is the smallest bone in our body? It is called as stirrup. You can see it is as small as the grain of a rice. तांदळाच्या एका शीतासारखा तो बारीक असतो. It is very small as a grain of a rice. And the human body, the longest and the strongest bone is the femur bone, which is also called as thigh bone. It is longest also and it is strongest also. Both the superlative degrees are given over here. So it is the longest and the strongest bone, and it is called as femur. Now we will study about the joints. Joints are the places where two or more bones are connected to each other. So joints are mainly of two types. One are movable joints and another are non-movable joints. Movable joint means which can help in moving, for example leg bones and arm bones, and the one which don't help in movement, the bones which cannot move, are said to be as immovable joints. The bones which are present in your skull, you cannot move the bones which are present in our skull. Now the types of joint we will see. The movable joints are again classified into three types. Hinge joint. Hinge joint means what? This type of joint allows the movement of bones only in one direction. It moves in 180 degree. Now 180 degree, if you relate maths over here, it is straight angle. Straight angle measures 180 degree, which was recently asked in your exam also. So 180 means what? If you have ever seen your arm, you can take near your shoulder and again you can bring back. So it only can move in 180 degree. Your hand cannot move again backward. Okay. So hinge joint, it moves in 180 degree. They are present in elbow and they are also present in knee. Your knee also can move up till 180, not more than that. You cannot fold your knee in 90, 180 to 70 degrees. It can be only moving in 180 degree. 180 degree means straight. Ball and socket joint, it is present in your shoulder. If you have ever seen your shoulder can move in 360 degree, just try to move and see. Just move your hand from the shoulder, you can easily find that your shoulder or your hand moves in 360 degrees. So there is ball and socket joint which is present, you can clearly see. And gliding joint, they are present on the, this type of joints are the bones only slide over each other. For example wrist and ankle joint, just present in front of one other. Okay, so these are the three main types of the joints. Now we are going to study more about the skin. Our skin is an important and large organ of all the living things. The skin is the largest and an important organ of the living thing. Skin is present. Why it is largest? Because it is covering your whole body. The skin has hairs. There are nails on the skin at the tip of the fingers and also on the toes. You can find that the nails are present on the skin and they are present on the tip of the fingers and also on the toes. The skin gives a sense of touch. It is one of the sensory organ and it is one of the important sensory organ too. If anyone asks you the question, the outermost covering of the body is called as skin. So what are the functions of skin over here? Skin functions like they are protecting the internal parts of your body like muscle and bones. Skin is covering from outside, so obviously it will do the protection work from inside. Helps in preserving the moisture of your body. Moisture means what? It helps in regulating the moisture. It helps in controlling your body temperature. Synthesizing vitamin D. Normally vitamin D we get from sun rays, so it does the work of synthesizing it. It does the work of balancing it. Releasing sweat to regulate body temperature. Normally in summer season you are releasing out sweat. So who is doing the work to regulate this? Yes, the skin is helping out and skin is removing out this sweat. Giving protection from heat and cold. Normal we are having the skin, that's why our internal organs and each and everything is protected from heat and cold. And also the function of skin is that it is working as an sensory organ. So the structure of skin, it consists of three main layers. One is the epidermis, which is the topmost layer, dermis the middle layer, and subcutis, that is also called as hypodermis. So the skin, human skin is made up of two main layers. Main layers are two, the epidermis and dermis. The outermost layer is called as epidermis and the layer below it is called as dermis. Below the dermis there is a network of blood vessels and nerve fibers. The subcutaneous layer under this network maintains the body temperature. So whatever the body temperature is there which is present, the skin does the work of regulating it. It is done with the help of this subcutaneous layer, that is also called as hypodermis. Now what is meant by melanin? Now normally you can see it in your class also. Few students are fair, few students are dark in color. It doesn't depend that they are that you should not discriminate between them. Always remember your skin color is only because of this melanin. So the pigment, it is one type of pigment which is present in our body, it is present in our cell, which decides your color. The pigment called melanin is present in the cell of epidermis. In the topmost layer it is present. The melanin synthesis the certain glands, and the percentage of melanin decides the fairness and darkness of the skin. So who decides it? If you are going to apply creams on your face, on your body, you are not supposed to get, or you are not supposed to turn white. But the thing is what? The melanin count, how much it is present in your epidermis, will decide your color, that will be fairness or the darkness one. The color of the skin also depend on the climate. If you are going again and again in hot sun, obviously you are going to turn out to be dark. The melanin protects our skin from the inner parts, and the inner parts from the ultraviolet rays. So the next part is the sweat and sweat glands. Normally when you are playing in hot sun, your body or your skin becomes wet. It is just because of the sweat. So there are sweat glands which are present down to our skin layer, down to our skin. So it regulates the sweat and it throws out the water which comes out from the microscopic pores from our body. You should always remember that our body temperature is usually, or it is approximately near to 37 degree Celsius. Now when you are growing older, the proportion of the fat, now in 5th standard you have studied that below our skin there is fat count, or fat is present beneath our skin, and as you grow older this fat count becomes less, it reduces, and that is why your skin starts to lose up, and you can see there are wrinkles on your face, wrinkles on your hand, you can see that your body is shrinking. So this causes the wrinkle on the skin of the older people, and that's why you can see your grandmother or grandfather you might have noticed this. So always remember this, that you are not supposed to discriminate anyone on the basis of their color. It is just because of the melanin count present in one's body. Okay, I hope you have understood this lesson. Please try and go through it. Thank you.